Telling a girl she's not coming to the bachelorette because she can't afford it, after she kept changing her mind and having other people speak for her. The spreadsheet on my computer screen felt like a living, breathing monster, its numbers shifting and recalculating with every tiny change. As the maid of honor, planning the bride's bachelorette party was a huge responsibility, and I wanted it to be perfect. Our bride deserved the best. The challenge. 18 girls. Yes, 18. It was a small army of women, all excited to celebrate, but also all with their own lives, schedules, and, most importantly, budgets. Back in January, I had started the big group chat, a flurry of excited messages and emojis. My first big task was booking the Airbnb, a beautiful, sprawling house that could actually fit all of us. It was gorgeous, but it came with a price tag, around $7,000 for the weekend. I knew that was a lot, so I broke it down carefully. Everyone's share for just the Airbnb was $375. I made sure to clearly state that this amount was due by March. I even went ahead and paid the full $7,000 upfront myself, just to lock in the booking and make things easier for everyone to pay me back. I tried to be as organized and clear as possible from the very start. Most of the girls paid on time, and things seemed to be going smoothly. Fast forward to this week. With the Airbnb payment handled, it was time to collect the rest of the money for the fun stuff: food, drinks, decorations, a few activities, and a little buffer for unexpected costs. I sent out the detailed budget, explaining that the remaining amount was $250 per person, and that it would be due by August 1st. I felt good about it. All the main costs were laid out, and everyone had plenty of time to get their final payment in. Then, my phone buzzed with a text from one of the girls. Let's call her Amy. I'd never actually met Amy in person, as she was a friend of the bride from a different part of her life, but she seemed friendly enough in the group chat. "Hey, it's Amy," her text read. "I didn't realize we were going to have to send more money on top of the $375 we sent. I just moved into my first apartment and I have no money to give at the moment or in the next couple of months. I definitely cannot afford it right now. Do you want to just give me the $375 back? Or is there something we can do for me to still go? LMK, thanks." I read it twice. My first thought was, didn't she read the initial breakdown? The Airbnb was just step one. But I also understood that moving is expensive. And her message felt pretty direct. When someone says, "I have no money to give at the moment or in the next couple of months," and then asks, "Do you want to just give me the $375 back?" It sounds to me like she's saying, "I need my money back because I can't afford this anymore." The "or is there something we can do" part felt like a polite way to soften the main request, which was clearly about getting her initial payment back. It seemed like she was backing out because of money. I pride myself on being fair and efficient. If someone can't make it, that's totally fine. Better to know sooner rather than later. So, I replied simply, "I'll send you your money back." Her response was quick, "Okay. Thanks." That confirmed it for me. She wanted out. So, I got to work. I immediately refunded her $375. Then came the tedious part. I had to reopen my monster spreadsheet, rerun all the numbers for 17 girls instead of 18, and figure out how to adjust everyone else's share so we could still cover the entire cost of the bachelorette. It meant a tiny increase for everyone else, which wasn't ideal, but it was manageable. Once I had the new figures, I updated the group chat, letting everyone know that Amy wouldn't be joining us and what the slightly adjusted final payment would be. I thought, okay, one less thing to worry about. Boy, was I wrong. The very next day, my phone buzzed again. This time it was from another bridesmaid, let's call her Beth. Again, someone I knew through the bride but hadn't actually spent much time with. "Hey Maya," Beth's text began. "So, Amy and I were talking, and we actually both want to come just for Saturday. Would that be okay?" I stared at the message, a slow burn of frustration starting in my chest. Just for Saturday. This was an 18-person bachelorette party with a carefully planned, all-inclusive budget for the whole weekend. Someone coming for just one day wasn't just a simple adjustment. It meant rethinking food plans, perhaps splitting activity costs, and trying to figure out a fair prorated price for them. It was a headache I hadn't anticipated. But I also wanted the bride to have all her friends there, even if just for a day. And Beth's request felt like a solid plan. So, swallowing my irritation, I replied, a bit frustrating, but okay. I'll adjust the budget again and let you know what that would look like. I then went back to my spreadsheet, erased the previous changes, and started trying to calculate what a one-day cost would be for 2 people, while ensuring the full weekend attendees weren't overpaying. It was a lot of fiddly math. Later that same night, just as I was unwinding after finally getting the numbers mostly sorted again, another text came in. This one wasn't from Amy or Beth. It was from Diana, another one of the bridesmaids, who was actually a close friend of mine. "Hey," Diana wrote. "Chloe just called me. She said Amy contacted her, asking if you'd be willing to give Amy an extension on the second payment." I reread Diana's text 3 times. Chloe. Amy. An extension. My head spun. I didn't even know Chloe that well either. And now Amy was having a third person speak for her. And asking for an extension for a payment she had explicitly said she couldn't afford and then implied she wanted her money back for? The whole thing was just a confusing, frustrating mess. It felt like a game of telephone, with me stuck in the middle, doing all the work. I took a deep breath. This indirect communication, combined with the constant back and forth about her attendance, was completely unacceptable. I decided to go straight to the source. I texted Amy directly, trying to keep my tone calm, yet firm. "Hey Amy," I wrote. "I'm honestly confused. You mentioned you couldn't pay and wanted your $375 back. Then Beth said you're both coming just for Saturday, and now Diana is asking Chloe about an extension for you. I totally understand things can change, but each time they do, I have to redo all the numbers, which is a lot to manage. Can you let me know your final decision so I can plan accordingly?" I thought that was a pretty clear, fair message. I acknowledged that plans change, but stressed the impact on my workload and asked for a definitive answer. Her reply came back, almost immediately, and it was defensive. "Amy, I didn't say I wanted my $375 back. I asked if you wanted to give that to me or if there was something we can do for me to still go. Because I want to be there for the bride. I didn't ask Beth to ask you for me, she just did it, and so did Chloe. They just want me to go. I will do what Chloe and Diana are saying. Thanks." My blood pressure started to rise. She was twisting her own words, blaming other people, and acting like I was the one making things difficult. "Did you not read this?" she'd said. "Oh, I read it all right. I read it, and then I acted on what I understood to be her clear request for a refund because she couldn't afford it. And now she was saying she'd do what Chloe and Diana are saying. Why couldn't she just come to me directly with her own plan? This was the last straw for my patience. I replied, no longer trying to hide my frustration. "Me. You said I have no money to give at the moment or in the next couple of months. I definitely cannot afford it right now. Do you want to just give me the $300 back?" That sounds like a beat around the bush way of asking for your money back to me. I don't care who asked who, all I care about is your final decision. You didn't ask me for an extension. You did not come to me with a plan. Hey, money is tight for me. Would I be able to send you half of my remaining balance on August 1st and the other half August 15th? Not, I definitely cannot afford it now or in the next couple of months. I'm not a bank. I don't know you. I'm not in charge of your finances. I knew my tone was blunt, maybe even a little sharp. But I was done. I was the one who had shelled out $7,000 upfront. I was the one spending hours on this spreadsheet. I was the one dealing with all the communication. And I wasn't going to be guilt-tripped or manipulated. Amy's next text was pure fury, thinly veiled as annoyance. "Amy, or is there something we can do for me to still go? LMK, thanks. Did you not read this? Not beating around the bush at all, but God, why are you being so rude? You could have given everyone a heads up that the price could change or have some kind of budget. I understand this is stressful for you, but you don't need to be rude to people, especially people you don't know. I'm good actually. I just won't go. Hope it's easier for you all. When the bride asks why I'm not going anymore, I'll be sure to let her know." My jaw clenched. Rude. After all the work I'd put in, after the constant confusion she'd created, and the idea that I should have given a heads up that the price could change. I had given a budget. The initial payment was for the Airbnb. The second payment was for the rest of the costs, as clearly stated. She was grasping at straws, trying to turn it around on me. And the threat about telling the bride? That was just childish. I typed my final reply, short, sharp, and honest. Me, you're not going because you can't afford it. I hit send. And then I blocked her. I know. It was probably not the most graceful exit. But I was beyond caring about grace. I was done with the games, the shifting stories, the indirect messages, and the accusations. Afterwards, a wave of exhaustion washed over me. Did I act like an asshole? Maybe, a little. But I was pushed to my limit. I was tired of being the organizer, the problem solver, the silent accountant, and now the bad guy. I had tried to be understanding, flexible, and fair. But there comes a point where you have to prioritize your own sanity, especially when you're doing a huge favor for someone else. The bachelorette party would go on, with one less person. And while it felt harsh in the moment, I knew I had stated the simple, undeniable truth. She couldn't afford it. And that was the real reason she wasn't coming. Not because I was rude, or because of a lack of a heads-up. It was about her own financial situation and her inability to communicate it clearly and directly. I felt a pang of regret for the bluntness, but mostly, I felt a deep, profound sense of relief that the monster spreadsheet might finally stay still.